Hello and welcome to my channel, Judy's Creations and Crochet. And today is May the 12th, 2022. And I want to apologize before I get started if I seem a little flustered or a little harried today, because I am going to be making 3 videos today. I may end up having to do the third one tomorrow morning, but my plan is to try to get through 3 videos, and I will explain at the very end of the video why I'm making 3 videos today. So to start off, I want to do something that I meant to do last week, and that is have a hello from Kiki once more. She has a new outfit, and before I show it to you, I want to explain. This is her new dress for May. And when I think May, I don't know about the rest of you, but when I think May, I think of all of the buds coming on the trees, and pretty soon we'll have the leaves, the nice green leaves, and the grass is turning green, and I get busy in my garden mucking around in the dirt. So to me, I thought the perfect thing to make a dress for Kiki was to do it in a combination of the greens and the browns, which is all the new green growth and the browns in the garden. So there is Kiki's dress for May. Again, I'm not too sure you can see, maybe you can see there are some sparkles in the yarn. I have been doing all of her dresses with mini skeins that I've received from different like advent calendars and so on. And I have all of them picked out for the remainder of the year, all from my mini skeins. So she just wanted to show off her latest new dress. This is May. And now I'll put her up there out of the way because I have so many things to show you today. I need to take my Easter egg down, don't I? I hope all the mothers out there had a really good weekend celebrating with family and friends. So today I promised the episode would be about shawls, and it definitely, I have plenty of shawls, and I also have some yarn to show you. So I'm going to move along quickly. Now, I have 2 shawls that I really honestly can't remember if I showed them to you or not, but they are going in my summer craft show or craft fair. So I wanted to be sure to show you before they left. And this is the first one. It's a shawl. It is quite large, but I like to wear them around my neck. This one is larger than I normally wear around my neck. And it See, it still goes and goes and goes. It's a very long shawl. Maybe I'll wear it as a shawl. For some reason, it's cool. It's nice and warm outside. We're having temperatures in the 20s, which is in the 70s. All week is going to be beautiful. But for some reason, down here in the house, it's chilly. So anyway, I can't tell you about the pattern. I obviously did use a pattern for this one because it has some fans and some open work as well as the solid. I can tell you the yarn is a Yarn Art Flowers Moonlight Cake. Yarn Art makes quite a few different cakes now, and the flowers is the just the plain cotton acrylic, and then the flowers Moonlight has the sparkle in it. Isn't that beautiful? And now they have flowers merino, and I have shown you one shawl made in that, and I have a wrap I've made in it recently, but I haven't had a chance to show it to you yet. And now I see they have flowers rose garden, which I think is very, very similar to Hobby's Twister. And they also have flowers alpaca, and I can't wait to get some of it. It looks gorgeous. So that's this shawl. And the other one, again, I'm going to be quick about it. I think I may have shown you this before, but some of you haven't seen all of my videos. And this is another gradient cake from Yarn Art called Flowers Moonlight. I always can tell because it has the sparkle in it. Can we see the sparkle? There you go. See the sparkle? You can particularly see the purple in the gray. But it goes all through the entire shawl. And this shawl is a modification of the virus shawl. A woman had a request for the virus but didn't like the big open areas in the virus, so she modified it for her sister, and this is it. It's called the Sandrine shawl, and I will link it down below for you and when I'm finished this video. So I think you may have seen that one before, so we won't dwell on it. Now, what I finished just this week, and it's a shawl I'm going to take with me to the craft show, is what Hope is wearing. This is a shawl, and I'm going to take it off because you don't get the beauty of it unless I hold it up. This is made with shawl in the ball. And I absolutely love the colors. I did take a little bit out of the ball to see how it goes one gradient and then it reverses. And right here in the middle of this light green, there is kind of an ugly green. So after doing one row of it, I said, okay, that's enough. Let's go back to the pretty colors. So I cut out the rest of the kind of ugly green. To me, it was ugly. And it went back and finished up. And there was a little bit of yellow, pinky yellow at the end to reflect the other end, but I didn't do it. This is the label, shawl in the ball. I'm sure most of you have heard of shawl in the ball. And shawl in the ball has 61% cotton, 34% acrylic, and 5% other, and that would be the metallic in it. See the pretty sparkles? Some shawl in the ball has sparkle in it, and some doesn't. This one definitely has sparkle in it. And one ball has, I think it's 400 and... It should be here. I know I've seen it before. Something like 481 yards, I'm thinking. Why can't I find it right now? Anyway, whatever amount it has, there it is, 480, real tiny print, 481 yards or 440 meters in the ball. And I didn't use all of the ball. Like I said, I had a little bit of yellow left over, and I took out some of that ugly green part. So that is a sizable shawl. And it's a very fast, it works up very fast as well. I've made this before. I think the colors in this are absolutely stunning. The color is Pastel Pixie. So once more, I'll show you the back of it. Pastel Pixie. Isn't that beautiful? And the pattern I used is a pattern, you see how open it is, all chain work except the edge. And as you're doing the edges, at the end of every row, you make that kind of border. And it's a pattern by Fiber Flux. And let me look it up. It's called Crochet, a Simple Lightweight Summer Shawl, Open Mesh Shawl. I will link to the tutorial on YouTube in the description box below. But it works up fast. I love those colors. I will be making another one of these shawls to take with me to my summer craft show. So that's another shawl. And finally, I do have two others that I haven't shown you. I know that for sure. I don't know what yarn these are made out of. I think this might be the pink version of Universe by Hobby, I think. I won't swear to it. And I don't know the pattern. It's just repeating fans, double crochet fans. It's a small shawlette. It would fit around the neck. And again, tons of sparkle. The sparkle in this would blow you away. You have to like sparkle to wear this one. So that's more of a shawlette. And then the next shawl, like I said, I've had the last one and this one for quite a while. That's why I don't remember any of the specifics about it. This is done in an acrylic, and this one is just double crochets broken with a few rows of open, one double crochet, chain one, skip one, offset. Oops. So I can't give you any information on the yarn I used. It doesn't ring any bells. It is a fairly stretchy yarn. It's not cotton. It says it's 100% acrylic, so it's got sort of that nylon feel to it. And it is a huge shawl. You can tell it's not as big as, for instance, the one I'm wearing or the previous one I showed you, the pink one. And it's just a very basic pattern. And again, it's something a little lightweight and smaller, and for that reason, I will be taking it to the summer craft show at the end of June. So those are smaller shawlettes. And finally, I have one more shawl to show you. Now, this has been frustration. First of all, I would say I was working on this last week, and I gave you a little teaser about it. And here is the shawl. And it is made with cotton cake from Stenley. It is 100% natural soft cotton, it says, and it has 1,000 meters. So I knew with 1,000 meters, it would make an absolutely huge shawl. So when I got kind of tired of it, I would cut out parts of some colors. For instance, the first starts with plain pink. Well, it was going on, so I cut out a little bit and moved on to the next color. And so on. The next color, I think I left most of it. It has a very, very nice, if I move back a little bit more, you'll see more. Has a very nice, soft, sort of gradual color change in it. But here's my story about this shawl. First of all, it is called the butterfly shawl. I can't remember. Oh, yes, it was Chris with a K. No, cross crochet, both with a K. K on cross and K on crochet. I'm pretty sure I got it in Ravelry. I will link it for you below. And it is a beautiful alternate to the virus. I could tell making this, because I've made the virus shawl many times, I could tell that she had altered the virus shawl. Instead of having a 4-row repeat, this has a 6-row repeat, And also, instead of all those rows with double crochets, it's with triple crochets. So that's fine. It is a beautiful pattern, and I think you can see there, especially in the middle, the butterflies, and that's why she calls it the butterfly shawl. The only place you have double crochets is this one solid row going around the outside of all of those open rows. Well, you really, really, I can't emphasize it enough. You really have to be paying attention to what you're doing, because if you miss your count, especially in the base row right here, the first row of the triples after the hole, all these other rows build on it, and even the open chains of the next section build on it. And if you miss one, which is easy to do when you're moving along through this, well, it throws things out. And you don't know that you're off until, I'll give you an example. I would make a mistake right here in this base row where there had to be 7 triple crochets. Well, you wouldn't notice it was wrong because the next row is just the triple crochets with one chain, triple crochets with 2 chains, and then you build that in it. But when you get to the next section where you have the open mesh, you would have the wrong number of open sections that you're chaining between 2 patterns. And then you'd say, oh, why do I have one less section here? And then you'd realize that all the way back here, you'd made a mistake you didn't find till you got down there. Well, I mean, it's my fault. I guess I didn't count carefully when I did that. And I have to tell you, I had to tear out sometimes a couple rows, but there were 2 times I had to tear out basically 5 rows to go back and make the correction, because there was no easy way to fudge it, to put in an extra stitch. So eventually I got very tired of this shawl. So when I got down near the bottom, I said, well, this is getting big enough, and I got a lot of yarn there, and it's going to go forever, and I'm tired and want to finish it. So I just jumped to the outside color, and I put that solid row that appears to be how she finishes it of that color. And that's what I ended up doing last night after an entire week of working on this project. I took 1 or 2 small breaks, but mostly just working on this and redoing and redoing. Well, what's my conclusion? My conclusion today is I'm not happy with that. I mean, I guess it's okay, but I'm not happy with that jump. And I really would like, if you can see this up closer, it's changing from light to dark, and it's what it does is it takes a little bit. This yarn is probably about 6 very, very fine threads, might even be 8, put together to make the thread. It's not a heavy thread. But it has so many, if I can spread that out. Can you tell how many threads are in that? Not likely, but there's an awful lot. And that color change, you can see here, it's the light into dark. So they change, they tie off some of the colors to change from one to the other. See what I'm talking about? How many fine, fine threads there are? And they change a few light ones and so on. Well, this one had made the first change to the darker color, went from light to dark. But there would have been another color change where they added in more dark So it still had a little bit of pink, but would have been a darker rose before getting to the solid, almost burgundy or wine color. And I totally jumped it. And you know what I've decided? After I've had some space and made some easier, smaller things, I'm going to take out this last row that's dark, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the progression from this color, slowly progressing to that color. I might not do the entire section, but I will do some. This repeats every 6 rows, so that means I have to do at least 6 more rows to go around this. This is already, that's one side of the triangle. I've got to say that it's at least 4 feet. Yeah, I would say that's pretty close to 2 feet. So each side's about 4 feet. So it's 8 feet around this shawl. But I'm not happy with it. I mean, some people may say, oh, that's just a border color. But I know there should be more progression. And this yarn, I have to say, has such a beautiful fade with the colors. Not obvious like some skeins I've worked with. So I want to go back and put some of that fade in there. So I haven't ended it. It's still attached. I'm going to take out the last row, and maybe next week I'll go back and do some more. And if I do, I'll give you a small little peek at the changes that occur in this. And that's too bad. I was so sick of this shawl, but it is a pretty shawl and I love the colors. So I'm going to take a step back, give myself space, make something else, and then come back to it. So that's all the shawls. That was 6 shawls to show you, although I think you've seen 2 of them before. Now, I also have some yarn to show you. And I quickly mentioned last week this yarn that I love so much. And it is just about the softest thing ever. And it's made of 70% alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. And I went to this company, Candy Skein, looking for more of it. I guess they just didn't have this combination in stock at the time because I didn't get any more of it. I will keep an eye on it because this is just about the softest thing I've ever felt. So these are the yarns that I did get from Candy Skein. I did get one with a little bit of cashmere in it, but most of them are 25% nylon, 75% merino. So here's the first color. I think it's time I made something lighter in color with pops of color in it. I have a couple of shawl patterns that I think it could be kind of pretty with the lighter summery look to it. And this is the same. Oh, I didn't tell you the yardage. As usual, it's got 463. Actually, that's a little bit more. 463 yards. This one was called Unicorn Gumball. Same makeup. This one's called Birthday Cake. A little more teal in it and a little bit of yellow. And the next one, reading the wrong side, is the same 75, 25, 463 yards. This one's called, I guess it says Rebel Princess. This is all in blues, a little bit of mauve there, but mostly blues and whites. I like some of the speckling, so it should have a nice light look to it when I make it up. And the last one, and this was my attempt to get this. Wasn't paying enough attention. And this has 80% merino, 10% nylon, and 10% cashmere. Whereas this other one, it had silk in it. Oh, and it was alpaca. I was looking at the wrong thing altogether. Now this is called Harpy Hot Chocolate. Now this is a wee bit softer than the others, but nothing like this one. So I'm going to have to go back and look again for the alpaca one. And this has 400 yards in it, and more blues, pinks, purples without the other colors. Very much into my colors. So that's what I got from Candy Skein. I won't give up. Knowing they have something like this, I'm going to go back and look again to see if I can find this, because it just feels so wonderful. And some other yarn I bought. Now, I have several companies here, but I'm only going to show you one more because I have something else to tell you as well. Okay, the yarn I have, where is Candy Skein? I think Candy Skein is in the Pacific Northwest. So it's, I think, in Washington State, if I recall. But I know it was over in that direction. Now, Miss Babs, I think you might have heard of Miss Babs on other channels. She's fairly well known to my knowledge. I think she has, yes, her website is missbabs.com. Missbabs.com. I'll link both Candy Skein and this one. Can you see it there? Missbabs.com. So this is the first one I got. A little duller than what we were looking at. It's called You Rang. These match. And I'm looking for, here it is, 65% merino and 35% Tussah, Tussah silk. Now, I have never had anything other than mulberry silk to my knowledge. So I wanted to feel this merino and silk. Now, it does not have the same shiny look to it that I'm used to. See, you see that's sort of shiny and has a halo. It feels silky. This doesn't. So you can also see the texture in the yarn. It feels nice. Don't get me wrong. It does feel nice, but it doesn't feel silky. It's soft though. It's got some very interesting colors in it, and it has 400 yards in it. So I have a few patterns, and in fact, some of CJ Brady's patterns call for 2 skeins. So I'll find something I can put these 2 in for sure. They just feel, they're a little finer also than some of the fingering weights that I work with. Fingering weight being my favorite. It says, oh, they only give you, oh, there's crochet, a USB. Wow, what is a B? I don't know, a 2 or something? I'd never use that. I don't know why they don't put the other millimeters on it as well. The rest of the world uses millimeters. Anyhow, that's the first thing I got from Miss Babs, and it feels very nice. The other 3 I got to kind of go together, and they are the Estrelita line. Is this a particular line? I can't read it yet. I guess it's yet. Oh, this is called heavy lace yarn. So it's a little thicker than lace. This is definitely a fingering yarn. Again, Miss Babs. This is 92% superwash merino wool and 8% lurex. I got these for two reasons. It says to use a B to an E. Well, I know an E is a 3.5 millimeter hook. 400 yards in the skein. 400 yards in that one as well. I got these, first of all, you know, because they are sparkly. And after the jewel tones that I like so much, I like the fall look. So you're going to see why I want these three, I think, to go together. So this one is called Bronze Age. And the next one, same specs in every way, called Deepest Desire. I'm not too sure where that comes from, but some lovely browns, taupes, rust. And finally, the third one is called Underbrush. Isn't that nice and rich? And I really expect to put these three together. I really got them with that intention. Now I'm going to have to find a pattern that would need three, but I'm pretty sure I have some patterns from EFA that are what they call a fade, that use three colors. I could put it this way, or I could put it this way. That's how some of their fades go. Isn't that gorgeous? I really, really like it. Beautiful. So that's all the yarn I wanted to show you today. Now, before I explain about all the videos, I just realized that I didn't mention anything about last week, but I need to tell you that after I did the video showing you patterns from CJ Brady, I got, first of all, a number of comments from my viewers saying they really did enjoy it. And there were a number of you that said that it was very interesting and you would love to hear about some other designers. So I'm racking my brain thinking what designers. So if you have a pattern you've absolutely loved and would like to tell me the designer's name, or maybe you've done more than one pattern by a particular designer. And I'm not talking about designers like Crystal from Bag a Day, or Craig from Fiber Spider, or even Fiber Flux or Hooked by Robin. Those are all very, very big designers, very well known, and I don't think they take the time to bother with me, a little wee channel that I am. But after the program, I went back to CJ Brady in our conversation. I had told her I would give her the link to the video. So I went back and gave her the link to the video I made last week. And she emailed me back later that evening and said she really, really enjoyed the video. And I guess she enjoyed it so much that she has an Instagram account where she shows pictures of all of her designs as she's designing. And she put a little article about it. And she put in a link to the video. The video actually shows right up in the article she wrote. So you might go look CJ Brady up in Instagram and putting a link to my video. And she went on her Facebook page and put the same little article explaining my video and putting a link to my video. Well, within 24 hours, I had another dozen subscribers to my channel. So people have been saying, congratulations, Judy, you made the 300 you wanted. You made your 300. Well, I'm up over 320 now, and I think it's thanks to CJ Brady. So if you're listening, CJ, thank you so very much for putting the links out to my channel. Um, and I hope it's helped you, because I know some of my subscribers said they were going to check out your patterns, and I had one of my viewers ask me to help her pick a pattern for some yarn she had, and another one said she went and favored you and she was looking for some one skein patterns and she would go back when she had time to pick some out. So I know that my viewers did like seeing your patterns, and some of them will do a pattern in the future. All right, one last thing to talk about. Usually at this point, I tell you what's happening next week. Well, I had planned a few weeks ago that I would be taking next week off. I am I am a hosta collector. I don't know if I've mentioned that. And I have a very large garden and a very extensive number of hostas that actually are not in the ground. They're kept, some of them, over winter in a shed. And I have to carry out all of these pots, about 100 or more of them. And this year I need to relabel. Labels are getting lost. I need to relabel everything and get them in the garden. And I also, of course, plant some other annuals. And next week, leading into our holiday weekend, it's a week before in the U.S. The U.S. Memorial Weekend will be the week after us, but next weekend for us, a week from now, is Victoria Day, what we call the May 24 weekend, although it's not always the 24th. But it's a long weekend here in Canada, and that's always my guideline to do my planting of my annuals for the season. So next week is my week, and the weather shows it's going to be great, is my week to get out and mess around in the garden and the mud and the dirt. And I just decided that I would take a week off from my regular videos, especially for the Canadians. The video on a Thursday might get lost in their long weekend celebrations. It's big fireworks and everything here. And not do a regular video next week. And I'm going to stay to that. I'm not going to do a regular video next week. But I am going to do 2 other shorter videos. And I'm going to make them this week, and then I'll just post them throughout next week. So you will have something. I don't want you to go into withdrawal if I'm away for a week. Just teasing. So one of the videos I'm going to make is called 23 non-yarny facts about me. Apparently, in the YouTube community, somebody started this question survey and tagged a couple of yarn related YouTube channels, and then they answer the questions and they tag a few more and they answer, and they keep tagging different people. Well, I'm so small, they don't know who I am and I don't get tagged. But if you know Gary from Urban Yarn, he said, I come to this so late. He says, I don't know who's been tagged and who it hasn't. So I'm just tagging everybody out there. If you want to do it, do it. And I thought, well, this would be an easy video for me to do. And it's a way for you to get to know me a little bit better. So I am going to make the video 23 non-yarny facts about me. I'll do that later today. And I'm going to post it. I got hair in my eye. I'm going to post it probably Monday. At least I'm thinking that's when I'll post it, is Monday. And then I have another video I have to make, because pretty soon we're going to be coming up to the Summer Yarny YouTube Hop. That's in June. And like last time, I have to do a little teaser video to get people thinking about it and ready for it. And I thought, well, that's a short video. It's only about 5 minutes long. So I'm going to make that today or tomorrow, and I'll post it next week. I'm thinking maybe around Wednesday. So you're going to get two smaller videos from me next week, but you won't get my regular weekly video on Thursday. I'll make sure they're a different day of the week. And while I'm talking about those two videos, I want to remind you that for the Summer Yarny YouTube Hop, which I will mention in the video next week, I'll be suggesting you might want to make something and send me a picture of it. Excuse me. Send me a picture that I can post in my video that I have to put out on the first day of summer, which is June the 21st. I believe it's a Tuesday. So that's coming next month. And I also want to remind you that I have asked for you to send me pictures of anything you make. Doesn't have to be summery. The Summer Yarny YouTube Hop has to be summer stuff. But for me, I already have 4 pictures from followers that I'm going to post. And I think I might do that video, let's see, the 21st, 23rd. I think the 16th of June is a Thursday, and it's right in the middle of June. So I think on the 16th of June will be the day that I show pictures that various subscribers of my channel have sent me. And I would love if more of you would send some. I have 4, maybe 5 pictures so far. So I'd love to have maybe a dozen pictures to show in the middle of June. So my email address is in the description box below. Please send me your pictures. Any picture or a summer picture. Just be sure to put summer in the description box, or just put picture. One of those two, and I'll know picture is for me in June and summer is for the Yarny YouTube one. So that's everything for this week. That was a lot to tell you, but I'll be back with a regular podcast in 2 weeks, but watch for those other 2 smaller videos next week. And until we get together again, happy hooking.